Hello my fourth graders, this is our lesson 8.6, model fractions and mixed numbers. So this is our target, is to write mixed numbers as fractions and fractions as mixed numbers. And we are going to take a look at our criteria. I can model a mixed number and I can write a mixed number as a fraction. I can write a fraction greater than 1 as a mixed number. Alright, draw a model to show 1 plus 1 plus 2 over 3. Okay, since we are asked to use the model, so let's go ahead. We have one whole pie and another whole pie, and we have what? We have 2 slices out of 3. And it needs to be 3, right? 3 slices, pizza pie. So we have 1 whole pie, 2 whole pies, and 2 and a 3. Okay. All right. So now let's move on. Use your model to write the sum as a fraction. Now, as a fraction, so they are asking us to convert this number 1, like natural number 1, to fraction. So here you go. This 1 whole pie is equal to what? 3 over 3. Make sense? So you are taking 3 slices out of what? 3 slices. That means what? You are taking 1 whole pie. And plus 3 over 3, another 3 over 3, right? And then you are going to add what? 2 slices out of 3. So is equal to what? Are we going to add this denominator? No. So that means what? We are going to just keep the denominator same. And then we are going to just add the numerators. Is equal to what? Yes, 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is what? 8 over 3. You got it? All right. So we are going to learn this, how to convert this fraction into mixed number. So this is same as what? Division. So I'm going to show you. They didn't ask us to put it again to this mixed number, but this is good to practice. So I'm going to put this 8 as what? Yes, dividend, and 3 as divisor. So 3 can fit into 8 by what? Yes, 2 times. That means what? 3 times 2 is 6. Multiply, remember, right? And subtract is 2, right? Remainder 2. Do you remember when we learn this division? I introduced to you guys how this remainder means, right? As a fraction. So these 2 represents what? These 2 represents, yes, you can fit into 2. That means what? These 2 natural numbers here, 1 plus 1, which means 2. And then this divisor goes under as a denominator. And this remainder is going to be, yes, our numerator. Okay, is the same thing. All right, so we're gonna practice this a little more later. Okay, so how to convert this improper fraction? We call this what? Improper fraction, right? Because this numerator is too big to be on top of this denominator. Okay, so we are going to switch that into what? Mixed number. Okay, now let's move on. How can you write a fraction greater than 1 as the sum of a whole number and a fraction less than 1? Explain. Okay, we just did it. So we need to find how many wholes are in the fraction. And then write it as a whole number, right? Then write the remaining fractions. So remainder goes on top as a numerator, remember. Okay, so I'm going to write it down. Find how many, many wholes are in the fraction and write it as, I was writing too fast, sorry. Write it as a whole number then write the remaining fraction. This is r, okay, fraction, okay. All right, so find how many wholes are in the fraction. That means what? How many this denominator can fit into this numerator. And then that's what division is, okay? And then you can write it as a whole number. So if these 3 can fit into 8 by 2 times, then that 2 can be the whole number. And then write the remaining fractions, which is what? Remainder 2 out of 3. That means what? You need to put this 2 over 3, okay? All right, let's practice more. A mixed number represents the sum of a whole number and a fraction less than 1. Okay, so the sum of the whole number, so you're supposed to have whole number and then the fraction less than 1, which means what? You are going to have a fraction. So 3 and 1/2, okay? So you need to, when you read this mixed number, you need to read this whole number as whole number just 3, and you need to put and. Then you can say the fraction, okay? So 3 and 1/2, okay? And this, I always remember Newton, right? Not Descartes, okay? A mixed number represents a sum, okay? But it is written without the plus sign. So simply we practiced last lesson, right? Simply this is kind of like Lego block, okay? So you are just sticking it together and you are just going to eliminate this plus sign, and that's how you write the mixed number. Let's go ahead for the example. Write 1 and 5/6 as a fraction, okay? So write the mixed number as a sum, then write the sum as a fraction, okay? All right, so 1, we are going to decompose this one into what? Okay, it was what? 1 plus 5/6. All right, so 1 represents what? 6/6, which means what? That a pizza pie is split into 6 slices and you are taking 6 out of 6, one whole pie, okay? And then plus, since we have what same denominator, you can add or subtract, okay? If they don't have any same denominator, then you cannot add or subtract, okay? As a fraction, you have to make it what? Yes, equal denominator, okay? Same denominator. So now, since your denominators are same, you can add what? Only numerators, which is 6 plus 5, which is what? Yes, 11/6. Okay. Another way, do you remember the cross multiplication strategy? Yes, we can use in here too. Okay. Since we know, I'm gonna explain in here, so we don't have to explain again. So 1 and 5/6 is equal to 1 plus 5/6. That's what is in here, right? So same as what? This 1 can convert it into what? 6/6, which is 1 whole. Since we know we are going to use what? Same denominator, you don't have to go this process. Which means what? This is kind of like a shortcut for you guys. Simply multiply this 1 and 6, which is what? 6. And then you have this plus sign, right? So just plus this number. That easy, right? So one more time, 1 and 5/6. When you need to switch that into just a fraction, simply multiply and then add to this numerator was there already. That means what? 6 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 5 is what? 11/6. That's simple. What if the number was what? 2 and 5/6. Then you're supposed to multiply 2 times 6 is what? 12 plus 5, which means 17/6. Okay? We are going to practice way more, okay, in this lesson. So this was 11/6. Let's move on. The next one. Write 5/2 as a mixed number. Find how many wholes are in 5/2 and how many halves are left over. So simply you can say this is what? Same as 5 divided by 2. Make sense? I told you before, in the computer, if there is when you can find the keyboard, there is no division sign, as we know, like this division sign, right? Maybe you can find in special key feature, but not in like regular keyboard here. That means what? This slash is what? Division sign in keyboard. That means what? 5 over 2 is equal to what? Divide. Okay, 5 divided by 2. That means what? We know 5 divided by 2 is easy peasy. 2 can fit into 5 by what? 2 times. And then 2 times 2 times 2 is 4. And subtract. 1 is left over. That's remainder. And as I said, what? This quotient is whole number. So 2 can fit into 5 by 2 times. And then what is left over? Oops, remainder 1, not 2, sorry. Okay, and then it was what? 1 remainder out of what? 2. Okay, one slice is left over out of 2 slices of pizza pie. Okay, remember. All right, so that was the shortcut that we can just do it because we know how to divide, how to do the division. Okay, but let's go ahead and see how our textbook is going to be teaching us. So find how many wholes are in 5 over 2 and how many halves are left over. Now they can convert that. 5 over 2 is equal to what? 2 over 2, which means 1 whole, and 2 over 2, which is another 1 whole, plus what? Yes, 1 over 2, which means what? Everything is like 2, okay? And then 2 plus 1. That is what? From 5. Remember that, okay? This 2 plus 2 plus 5, well, 1 is what? From 1, I mean, the denominator 5. But why they use these 2? Because our denominator is 2. Okay, we are going to count, okay, how many 2 can fit into 5. All right, and we have what? One whole number, right? And then 1/2. That means what? 2 plus 1/2. And we know this one is like what? Lego block, just stick into together. Boom, 2 and 1/2. Okay, so this 5 over 2 is what? 2 and 1/2. Simply, we know how to divide. Okay, we learn division. Okay, so just do this. This is equal to what? 5 divided by 2. Is equal to what? 5 divided by 2. 2 times 2 can fit into 5 by 2 times and it becomes 4. So 5 take away 4 is what? 1. Remainder 1. So remember, quotient is whole number. And remainder goes on top because we are taking only 1 out of what? 2 slices. Okay? Well, let's practice more, guys. Number 1, write 3 and 1/4 as a fraction. Okay? Use a model or a number line to help. We don't need it. I'm sorry. Because we know what? Yes, we know the shortcut, which is what? Cross multiplication strategy. Yes. So 4 times 3 is what? 12 plus 1 over 4. That's it. 13 over 4. That's simple. Isn't it simple? Yes. All right, now write this 9 over 6. Oh, we are not going to use model, or I'm sorry. If you want to, you can, okay? I'm not saying you don't have to, or I mean, you shouldn't. You can use always number line or model, okay? But we know easier way, okay? So now here, I know, I told you, and I know that, what? This 9 over 6 is equal to what? 9 divided by 6 is what? 9 divided by 6. 6 can fit into 9 by what? 1 time only, because 6 times 2 is what? 12. Too big, okay? And 6 times 1 is 6. Masabri, bring it down. I mean, subtract, which is 3. There's nothing to bring it down, so which means what? Remainder 3. That means what? Okay, we have a quotient 1 as a whole number. And then remainder goes on top, and then out of what? 6. You got it? So 1 and 3 over 6, okay, is the mixed number from 9 over 6. Let's practice more, guys. And I want you to pause the video, as you know, and number 3 through the rest of them. I want you to do it yourself and check your answer with my answer, okay? Do not just like struggle, okay? You don't have to struggle if you have any question. My video is here, so always unpause and then just watch it. And if you still don't get it, put star mark on it. And in the class time, I'm going over always, you know that, right? Okay, so don't be afraid and don't be shy. All right, it's okay and it's normal to have questions, and that's good. Okay, so always tell me. Write the mixed number as a fraction. Yo, we know this. Why? Yes, we know. Yes, cross multiplication strategy again. Plus this thingy, right? Numerator. All right, it's what? 3 times 5 is what? 15 plus 4 over what? 5, which means what? 19 over 5. That easy, right? Okay, next. 3 times 2 is what? 6 plus 1 over 3, which means 7 over 3. That easy. 6 times 12 is what? We know it's going to be 72 plus 7 is what? 79 over 12. All right. Now, 1 times 100 is what? 100 plus 82 over 100. That means what? 182 over 100. Right? 11 times 8 is what? 88 plus 3 over 8, which is what? 91 over 8. All right. Now, 9 times 10 is what? 90 plus 5 over 10, which means 95 over 10. All right, that was easy. What about this fraction as a mixed number? Okay, now we are going to do what? Division, okay? But if the number is too big, like number 13, we need to use just like just regular way, okay? So we are gonna go now. 9 divided by 8 is equal to what? 9 divided by 8. All right, we know 8 can fit into 9 by what? One time only is 1, remainder 1. That means what? Quotient is our whole number 1, and what? Remainder goes on top, and out of 8. Our divisor goes our denominator, okay? All right, now rewrite it. 19 divided by 3 is equal to what? 3 can fit into 19 by what time? We know 3 times 6 is 18. Take away 1, remainder. That means what? Whole number is what? Our quotient, 6. And what? 1, remainder goes on top. And our our divisor is going to be our denominator. Okay, 6 and 1/3. All right, let's move on. 38 divided by 5 is equal to what? 38 divided by 5. 5 can fit into 38 by what? 7 times. 35 minus 3 remainder. That means what? 7 is our whole number, right? And then 3 remainder out of what? 5. All right, this one is what? 22 divided by 10. 10 can fit into 22 by what? 2 times. We know that, right? Because 10 times 2 is what? 20. Take away 2, remainder 2. So this quotient is our whole number, and then remainder goes on top, and our divisor is our denominator. Okay? 2 and 2 tenth. All right, 13. Of course, we know you got this. How? Because, 460 divided by 100. Oops, we don't know, like 3 digits division, we don't know. But look at this. 400, they're not going to ask you too much, okay? 100 can, 460. 100 can fit into what? 460 by 4 times only, because we know 100 times 4 is 400. We cannot go by 5 because it's going to be 500, too big. You have only 460 candies, remember? All right, now take away is what? 60 remainder. Now, this quotient is what? 4, our whole number. And then 60 remainder goes on top, and then 100 divisor goes denominator. Or you can do like this. Okay, 100 can fit into 460 by 4 times. Same thing here, right? Multiplication, just using it. And then leftover is what? 60 and over 100, okay? All right. If you don't understand, I'm going to explain again during the class hour, okay? Don't worry. All right, now look at this. 20 divided by 4, okay? 20 divided by 4. 4 can fit into 20 by what time? Yes, we know 5 times 20. There is no remainder. What are you going to do? There is no remainder. Then you can simply write what? Okay, 5. That's it. If there is no remainder, there is no fraction. You understand? If there is no remainder, there is no fraction left over to add, okay? So if 4 can fit into 20 by 5 times, then you can convert that into whole number. Okay, that's it. Now compare. Yes, that's easy because we know what? Cross multiplication. 2 times 1 is what? Yes, 2. 2 plus 1 is what? 3. So this is equal to what? 3 over 2. That means what? They are equal. All right, number 16. 12 times 3 is what? 36 plus 3 is what? Well, we didn't have to do this much because already we know 12 times 3 is what? 36, and this is greater. We're like way greater than 15 already. So anyway, this was same as what? 39 over 12. Okay? Now let's convert that into either way. I'm gonna tell you two ways. Okay, this is equal to what? 4. It can convert that into what? 4 times 6 is what? 24 over 6. Okay, or you can use this what? 21 divided by 6 is equal to 21 divided by 6. 6 can fit into 21 by what? 3 times. 18. Take away is what? 11, 3. So remainder 3. That means what? 3 and 3 over 6. Okay? So what? 4 is greater. Okay? So either way is fine. So you can convert this 4 into sixth. Okay? Sixth fraction, which means what? 4 times 6 goes on top of what? The numerator. Okay? On top as numerator. And then 6 because we need to compare with what? Same denominator. That's why I split that 4 into 6 pieces of whole pie. Okay? So if you have 6 slices of pizza and 4 pies, 6 times 4, 24 slices, all you have. Make sense? That's how I convert the 4 into 24 over 6. Because I need to use what? 6 as denominator. If you don't understand, rewind it and listen again. I think I speak too fast. But if you still didn't get it, it's okay. You can always put star mark on it and then I can go over it, okay, during the class hour. All right, let's move on. Wow, already 20 more minutes. Okay, I think I explained too much. Okay, which one doesn't belong? Okay, which expression does not belong with the other 3? All right, so let's see. This is what? 3 times, let's convert that into fraction, okay? So 3 times 3 is what? 9. 9 plus 2 is what? 11 over 3. And this is equal to what? 12 over 3, because 9 plus 3 is what? 12 over 3. Okay, what about this one? 3 plus 3 plus 3 is what? Okay, is 9 plus 2, 11 over 3. Okay, so, yep, everything else is what? 11 over 3, but this one doesn't belong to them, okay? Because this is what? 12 over 3. All right, find the unknown number. Okay, 1 and blank over 6 is equal to what? 8 over 6. Which means what? We can still do this. This is algebra, right? Simple. 1 times 6 is what? 6 plus one number is going to make 8. We know 2. Right? That's it. Now look at this same strategy. 8 times 4 is what? Yes, 8 times 4 is 32. 32 plus what's gonna make 35? 3. That's it. Okay. Now 21. 12 times something plus 9 has to be 129. That's simple because you know what? Thank you guys, because simply you can add what? 10 times 12. That means what? It's gonna be 120. Make sense? Yeah. Plus 9 is 129. So that was easy. Last page, guys. Example. A construction worker needs nails that are 9/4 inches long. Which size of nails should the worker use? Write 9 over 4 as a mixed number. We know that. So we're supposed to find out among this nail size, okay? We need to find out what? Equivalent fraction as what? 9 over 4. And we know 9 divided by 4 is equal to what? 4 can fit into 9 by 2 times. Makes 8, and remainder is what? 1. That means what? 2 quotient is our, yes, mixed whole number. And remainder goes on top. And this divisor goes what? Yes, denominator. So it has to be this second one. Make sense? All right, so we just keep this sign, this process because we know already how to divide, okay? And so the construction worker should use the nails that are what? 2.5 inches long. Simple. Now 22, same question over, okay? You need screws that are 13/8 inches long to build a birdhouse. Which size of screws should you use? Okay, this is equal to what? 13 divided by 8 is equal to what? Oops, 13 divided by 8. 8 can fit into 13 by what time? Yes, just one time. 8. Okay, 13 take away 8 is what? Yes, 5. So remainder 5. That means what? 1 is our whole number and remainder goes on top. And our divisor goes bottom. So 1 and 5/8. That's it. All right, number 23. You and your friend each measure the distance between two beanbag toast boards. You record the distance as 3 and 3/5 meters. Your friend records the distance as 18/5 meters. Did you and your friend record the same distance? Explain. We'll see. Simply you need to compare what? 3 and 3/5 and 18/5. Now all we need to do is what? Yes, cross multiplication strategy, easy, right? 5 times 3 is what? 15 plus 3 is what? 18/5. Oops. Are they equal? Yes, they're equal. So the answer is what? Yes. They use same distance. How? 18/5 is hold on. No, not 18/5. 3 and 3/5 is what? Okay, same as 18/5. Okay, so 3 and 3/5 is equal to what? 18/5. That's all you need to explain. Okay. 24. You use a 1/3 cup scoop to measure 3 and 1/3 cups of rice. How many times do you fill the scoop? Okay, so you have only what? 1/3 cup scoop, okay? But then you need to put this 3 and 1/3 cups of rice. That means what? You have to use 1/3 cup to put this this rice into the rice cooker, I think, right? And this many amount. Okay, this many times. And 3 and 1/3, but we don't know how this 3 represents the whole number. That means what? We need to use what? Fraction. Okay, so we are going to convert that mixed number into fractions. So now we are going to know how many cups, okay? How many scoops we need to put in. All right, now 3 times 3 is what? 9. 9 plus 1 is what? 10/3. That means what? We need to use what? We need to scoop 10 times. Okay? All right, now 25. A sunflower plant is 127/10 centimeters tall. A snapdragon plant is 8 and 9/10 centimeters tall. Which plant is taller? Explain. We need to compare this 127/100 and 8 and 9/10. Okay, let's do simple way, easier way. Which one is easier? For me, cross multiplication strategy is easier. Okay, so I'm going to use this way. 8 times 10 is what? 80. 80 plus 9 is what? 89. Now we can compare. 127 is greater or 89 is greater. Since we have same denominator, we don't have to consider about this denominator. Okay, if we have different denominator, we have to change one fraction to make equals same denominator. Okay, but we are not going to do that now. Here, of course, 127/10 is greater than 89/10, which means what? Sunflower plant. Sunflower plant is taller. Okay? All right. Oh, that's it. So that's all for today. And your homework, I know you're gonna shout, I know, okay, or we know. All right. So as you know, 381 and 2. All right. I will see you guys soon. Okay, bye.